looking for a bookend. Try to find some brackets to the game of life. Ending, beginning. Reaction to the drama cut us up like a knife. Aching, never breaking. Exhausted but committed to see it through. Sweating, but not letting everyone know you're struggling too. Nothing holding us back. Push you harder than ever before. Give it all you got. Break down the door. Greatness comes. Little bit of talent. Commitment to the grind. Know your worth. Put it to the test. Ye shall find. Nothing is out of reach. Looking down the barrel of a loaded gun. One day, storm the beach. Never surrender till the battle's won. Nothing holding us back. Push harder than ever before. Give it all you got. Break down the door. Greatness comes. Little bit of talent. Commitment to the grind. Know your worth. Put it to the test. Ye shall find. Oh yeah. Greatness comes. Little bit of talent. Commitment to the grind. Know your worth. Put it to the test. Ye shall find. Looking for a bookend. Try to find some brackets to the game of life. Ending, beginning. Reacting to the drama cut us up like a knife. Aching, never breaking. Exhausted but committed to see it through. Sweating, but not letting everyone know you're struggling too.
Welcome back to these live sessions. We have Travis Humble here with us. Thank you so much for playing. You played a couple of songs for us today.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know it's a very hot time too. So it was a little hot in the studio, but I appreciate you powering through it with us. And
Yeah, it's a warm one out here.
oh yeah, oh my gosh, no warning at all. But yeah, so I wanted to go a little bit into the first song that you played. What was that one called again?
Ye shall find. Yeah, and it's more of a rock tune, I guess. I'm real influenced by classic rock, and so it probably comes more out of that. But the title's based on Matthew chapter 7, where Jesus says, "Ask and you shall receive, and seek and ye shall find." And the whole idea is that you got to actually go out and hunt down these opportunities and work for them. And it's not enough to just be talented or catch some breaks. Like you gotta hustle a little bit.
Oh yeah,
So.
oh yeah. That was one thing that got me through a lot of when I was playing music and stuff, was just hard work beats talent any day.
Yeah,
Any
you
day.
see that all the time. You see most talented people out there and just not willing to do what it takes, and so
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Not just in music, I think just in life. That's crazy.
Yeah, most definitely. When I went to build this studio and do all this for artists and everything like that, like I didn't have the first clue at all what to do, but I knew music and I knew video, so I was like, I'm just gonna run with it and make it happen,
There you go, and you figure it out along the way.
Oh yeah, exactly. So no excuses, none of that. But tell me a little bit about kind of what got you into music. When you got your first guitar, all the fun stuff, man.
For sure. So I've been playing music about 30 years. Started on piano, then moved into trumpet. Trumpet's really my main instrument, but I don't play it hardly anymore at all. But got my first guitar in high school. I remember it was a nylon string guitar that we financed, and I think it was $70. And
there you
that
go.
led, financing $70. It's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But since then, just really been blessed to have a lot of opportunities to play music, really all over the world. I played music in the Marine Corps and was able to do that. And so see places, take me places I never thought I'd go, and now I have too many guitars, or so says my wife. And then
Yeah.
there's always
Is
too
there
many
is there
guitars.
such thing as too many guitars?
Yeah. At one point, I was a manager at a music store in a mall, and I think I had about 30. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I ended up selling a bunch of those off. So I think I only have a couple of those left, but I've since started purchasing again. And so it's a lot of fun. I love playing guitar. It's something that I should probably be better at, but I love playing, strumming, and singing, and entertaining people. It's really great.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. I'm just picturing that like room of 30 guitars. Like,
Yeah, we were living in a one-bedroom apartment, so it was really interesting how I stored everything. So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
I just
man.
had to get creative.
One bedroom apartment. So then you moved out here to Temecula.
I live
Life
in
brought
Menifee.
you live in
Yeah.
Menifee. There you go.
So we've just moved to Menifee. So I teach full time. I'm actually a teacher.
Oh wow.
Full time. Yeah, Monday through Friday. I teach 7th and 8th grade, so middle school,
Hey, my
which
teacher
is
is a punk rocker.
which
Heck
is
yeah.
everybody's favorite age group to
That's
hang
so
out
cool.
with.
Yeah.
Everybody loves middle schoolers, and hopefully you can tell the sarcasm in that. But yeah, they're great. I teach in Paris, and so I'm able to be about 10 minutes away from work, and so living in Menifee and far enough away to still have a kind of sanctuary kind of thing. It's really really great, and then closer to a lot of the gigs that I have down here in
Hmm.
Temecula area and Murrieta, and so that's also a bonus. And I can pop up to Redlands pretty easy too. So
Yeah.
pretty central to the music industry that is the Inland
Yeah,
Empire. Kind of.
it's definitely growing a lot more. Definitely reaching out to a lot of bands that are on their tours, kind of in between LA, San Diego. For a lot of people that don't know, Temecula is like right smack dab in the middle
Yeah.
of all of that too. And Menifee's not too far off either. I mean, I go past Menifee all the time when I'm like heading out to Big Bear, heading out,
Oh yeah.
wherever. So that's really cool, man. And it's such a hub. I mean, you just played a whole bunch of gigs this entire weekend, right? Like every day was booked for you.
Yeah, I had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday a triple header, and I try not to do that as much, just so my voice doesn't sound as crackly. But you do what you got to do. You got to hustle, and so we were blessed to do it. One of those gigs was a fundraiser. That's something that's near and dear to me. I actually run a nonprofit for veterans' rights as well that raises money for vets and helps them out. And so we were able to do a fundraiser for an organization that actually supported us on the back end, and so we got to play that, and that was a lot of fun too. And then
Yeah.
I even, and technically it was more than a triple header because I was leading worship at church on Sunday morning.
Oh,
too.
wow.
So yeah, it was a busy weekend. We try to stay busy, and if we have the opportunity, and it's a great place to play, we're signing up for it for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of those I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of times when you're tired, you kind of feel like, I could skip out on this one. I feel like sometimes those are the best. Like all great stories start with, and then I went,
Yeah,
and I ended up doing
absolutely.
it, and yeah, and it ended up really good. You keep saying we, so I know you played alone in here.
Yeah.
So you have a band.
Yeah, primarily I'm in a band that called Heritage Harmonic. I started about 8 years ago as a 4 piece, and now we're down to two.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, it's always nicer to split money 2 ways than four,
Hmm.
and it's unique in the fact that we just have myself on guitar and vocal, and then I have a drummer who's on a like we were talking earlier, a suitcase kick
Yeah.
drum, an old
Oh, I
70s
love those. It's
Samsonite.
so
Yeah,
cool.
it's really rad, and so it's unique in that we take songs that don't belong together, and so I have started playing more of my originals in those sets and in those gigs, which is cool. It gets me exposure, but most of it's actually medleys and mashups that I wrote. So
Oh, okay.
that I take songs from all over genres and mash them up, and you get the weird look, and the people as soon as we go from Elton John to Imagine Dragons to Genuine, everybody just throws up. What was that? And
Yeah.
so that's been a really great opportunity for us. So when I say we, yeah, that's our band Heritage Harmonic. Yeah,
Heck
it's a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. And then the second point, I didn't want to skip over this too much, but you run a nonprofit. You're a veteran. First off, thank you for your service.
Oh,
I appreciate
absolutely.
that a
Thanks
lot.
for your support.
And so you do a lot of these music events, or how do you host a lot of these things for the nonprofit to raise awareness for that?
Yeah, so if I wasn't busy enough, being a
Yeah,
teacher and then being a musician as a side hustle,
running
but
your
and
church services and
yeah,
then
yeah,
yeah.
and volunteering in that. If I'm not busy, I'm bored, and if I
Oh,
get bored, I get in trouble. And so
that's yeah.
I'm constantly moving and running, and so my nonprofit's called All American Riders. We ride motorcycles and put on events and all kinds of cool stuff. Um, that raises money for vets, and we have zero overhead. We're all volunteers, and so all of our net proceeds go right back to either veterans themselves or organizations that have the infrastructure to do more of that good than we can. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have the expertise on most of that, but I know how to run events, and
Yeah.
so we do motorcycle rides. We do beer fest. We got a big beer fest coming up in November called Amber Waves of Grain. We do live music there. We do all kinds of cool stuff throughout the year. And
Heck
so
yeah.
integrating my music through there and throwing live concerts for that fundraising side is definitely a blessing on that side, or doing it for church, or just using my talents to make the world a better place. I think is kind of where I try and focus my time. It's great to make money and do it that way, but
Yeah.
making a difference, I think, is just as important,
Yeah.
if not more so.
Most definitely want to focus on that impact. And I'm a big believer in, doing things that are on your heart, and it'll pay off 10 times
Yeah.
more than, waiting around for whatever monetary value, or,
Exactly.
however you want to word that. Yeah, no, I love that. And then that's so many things. I mean, I do a lot of stuff too. And I always have my fiance tell me, she's like, you need to slow down sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you can't, and I have 2 daughters. You said you're about to have a couple of sons here, huh?
Yeah, my twin dad in the making. Yeah, I got
Wow.
twin boys on the way in the next couple months. Probably late September, early October ish, and we'll see how that all pans out. And
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't know what I'm in for exactly. I mean,
Hmm.
I've been around my niece and nephew, but other than that, I don't think you're ever truly ready. But that's what everybody keeps telling me too. And
Yeah.
so just preparing for that. And sorry, honey, but I still have gigs booked. But I think I have a gig booked the day after she's due. So
Oh, wow.
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll do an update on that. I'll send you a text on that day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
let me know how that goes. I can say one thing though. I've played a lot of shows with my band. 10 years full time musician doing all that stuff. And we most memorable gig I ever played was at the Glass House in Pomona. We booked it out. It was
a good
completely
venue.
sold out. There was 3
Yeah.
mosh pits. It was insane. And when I'm sorry, I'm like, my daughter Jade was firstborn. She's 2 now. When she was firstborn, I sat there and I played my acoustic for her. It was the best show I ever played in my life.
That's
On top
so
of that,
awesome.
because she's just sitting there staring at you, and I'm sure your boys will do the same. And I hope you get this feeling that I'm feeling right now, because I'm just remembering that day. I was like, oh man, she's just looking like, hey, this
That's
is cool.
super cool.
And I'm like,
I feel like there's like life before kids and
Yeah.
then life after kids.
oh yeah,
And like your mentality changes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of already there, if I'm being honest, because it's just been such a long haul and long road to get here. So we're blessed. My wife and I have, definitely been blessed in this, and so she's a trooper too. Carrying twins can't be easy.
oh no, not
And
at all.
like we said, it's like 105 outside, so that's fun.
Oh, man.
What a perfect time.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Let's have a kid right now in the summer. Oh man,
Too.
yeah, let's have 2. Jeez, man. So
Yeah.
that's so crazy. So you're booking these gigs, you're doing that. You do this full time on top of your nonprofit and all, or
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you're a teacher. I'm sorry.
yeah,
That was a
right
silly
now it's a
question.
lot easier because I'm on summer break.
Yeah.
So that's kind of great. But we're still having meetings. Like this Sunday, I take off for a 3-day training down in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm gigging Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday I take off for training. Then we're back in our classroom setting up, and so yeah, it's kind of nonstop. So the one thing I don't want to do is take away from any of the things that I do. So
Mhm.
like if music started to take away from teaching, I'd have to make a choice between one of those 2 things. And
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe that'll happen eventually. But right now, I'm blessed to be able to do both, and I feel like I can. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. and it's a lot of fun. I made that jump to do full-time video and run a video production company and everything like that. And I've been blessed enough to be able to take care of my family, allow Marie to be home with the my daughters and all that. And so it's awesome, man. And that's the biggest thing is just that hustle, that hard work. You gotta keep doing that.
Yeah, that's it. That's what'll get things done for sure.
Awesome. So.
She's staring at the wall, knowing that he's not coming back. He's driving straight into the night, trying not to crack. The roads keep growing longer, shadows getting darker. He hears his dad's voice saying, son, you're making it harder. Hardest choice is best, but there are bottles on the shelf. Think of those you love and see past yourself. No, you can't go back. No, you can't start over. Running down the dream, knowing that life, it don't come slower. Keep moving forward and you won't get stuck. Remember what don't break you down will always build you up. Oh, always build you up. Kids growing up without a dad because he took the exit, not knowing if he'd bless their lives, maybe he'd just wreck it. If he could get a second chance, maybe he'd choose different. Instead he drinks away regrets, continues in his absence. Hardest choice is best, but there are bottles on the shelf. Think of those you love and see past yourself. No, you can't go back. No, you can't start over. Running down the dream, knowing that life, it don't come slower. Keep moving forward and you won't get stuck. Remember what don't break you down will always build you up. Always build you up. They'll never know the joy in their father's eyes, the pride of fatherhood. He'll never realize. No, you can't go back. No, you can't start over. Running down the dream, knowing life, it don't come slower. Keep moving forward and you won't get stuck. Remember what don't break you down. No, you can't go back. No, you can't start over. Running down the dream, knowing that life, it don't come slower. Keep moving forward and you won't get stuck. Remember what don't break you down will always build you up. Always build you up. Always build you up. Always build you up. All right.
Thank you for playing that second song for us, and it kind of has an unofficial title. That
Yeah. Unofficially, I'm going with breakdown buildup right now
Okay.
because it's all that whole idea of that dichotomy of the things that break you down, or the things that build you up, and it's always one or the other. Like I feel like there's almost nothing in this life that keeps you treading water, because even in and of itself, you're going to get tired eventually.
Yeah.
And so it's ultimately breaking you down. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I was watching one podcast with all the celebrities and everything, and Tom Hanks, he sat down and he was like, just remember, when times are great, this too shall pass. When times are bad, this too shall pass, right? And I know he's not the first one to say that, but it's something that we all need to remember in, anytime. And so one thing that got me going through a lot of my hardships, I was that guy in my band that, I was the partier. So I would disappear right before a show and then come back 5 minutes before the show and be like, hey, guys, how's it going?
Oh, man. Oh, no.
So I had too much fun. I was that guy in the band, right? And so I had my bassist who was living in Texas at the time. He was starting his own family. Called me up one morning and he goes, hey, I'm getting sick and tired of these like 3 in the morning phone calls from you, man. I got an extra room. You get a plane ticket. Come out here. I'll sober you up. And so
it's a huge deal.
so I went. I did that. Came back. with the same band. I didn't do the same things, and we ended up doing that. And that's how I met my fiance. And I felt like it all happened for a reason. And it built me up. If I would have met my fiance anytime sooner, there's no way in hell she would have been with me at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I don't know. So tell me a little bit about the story of that song in particular.
Yeah, so that song comes from the place of a guy who decides to leave as soon as he finds out that he's him and his girl are expecting a baby, and so that's personal to me. Unfortunately, my mom passed when I was really young, about 4 months old, and my dad took off, and so I hesitate to even use the word dad in that way, especially me having the boys on the way. It puts it all into a new perspective, and so I never really tapped into that so much. But now that I'm writing music, I think music is a language that can go beyond words, and so that's the whole idea, and that tension that builds through that chord progression and showing that he'll never get that time back.
Yeah.
That he missed out on all of that. And so he's tried to reach out a couple times, and that's even more upsetting, I think in and of that, but I was blessed to be raised by my aunt and uncle, and they're fantastic people. We unfortunately lost them about 2 years ago, but yeah, just that idea of when you're confronted with those hard decisions, and it's a lot easier to run sometimes, but that's not gonna get it done. That's not gonna pay off in the long run. And I think exactly what we were talking about. Like you have the temporary indulgences and the temporary pleasures, but then what does that mean for you in the long run?
Yeah.
Like, how does that benefit you or the people around you? Like, so that's the whole idea. Anything that doesn't break you down will build you up. So you just gotta chase it, grit and bear it, and and just go for it.
Go through it. Yeah. When I look back at all the things, from my past and stuff, I don't look back with regret. Like, of course there's a couple of things that's like, I probably shouldn't have done that, but
You're right.
But yeah, I would not have the mentality, the mindset. I would not be where I'm at without having to go through all of that. And getting to go through, however people want to put that into perspective too, and so yeah, that's never a good thing. I'm so glad that your aunt and uncle stepped up and they were able to do that for you. That's
yeah,
really
for
cool.
sure, man. I mean, I'm so grateful. Like, I cannot state enough how blessed I am that happened. But at the same time, you still go back and what was that mindset like? Like, that's so wild to think that, because I'm so stoked to have these 2 kids on the way, and just it's just a different mentality. So.
Yep, it's a different thing. Do you think music has helped influence your music a little bit more? You said is this the first song that you kind of dove into that type of emotion, or?
Not necessarily. So for the longest time, I didn't write music just because I didn't think it was good enough. I didn't think my lyrics. I didn't think I was creative. I didn't think anything I would write was good enough. So I didn't even put any ideas into it. I spent more of my time with my band doing medleys and mashups, and I mean, I got pretty good at that, and that came almost seamlessly, just knowing music. But then there's been a lot of artists coming out who are actually writing about meaningful stuff that's helping people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what ultimately led me to say, hey, you know what? This is more important, that I want to do something that helps people. I want to write things that help people. So tapping into that idea, and very first song I wrote in my adult life, because I used to write songs to get girlfriends in high school.
Oh,
you know how it is, like the guy with the acoustic
Water.
guitar. Yeah, it's about your eyes. Come on, But I don't want to write about chicks or booze or any of that. And it's first song I wrote. I was on a plane out to Nashville actually for visiting friends, and I had landed a gig out there, and I was just sitting there on my phone, and my wife looked at me like, "What are you doing? Like, you don't have cell service. Who are you texting?" And I was like, "No, I'm writing a song. I just lost my parents," and so literally wrote it on the plane ride out there, and that was song number 1 essentially, and just moving through past that is tapping into those things that people don't want to talk about, the ideas of loneliness and abandonment and addiction and things. I think there's some people out right now who are doing, like, I don't know how familiar you are with Jelly Roll. Like, that guy is killing it. And because he's open about what he's gone through. And so that I was really inspired, not just by him, but I mean the songs that are actually hitting on the radio now, instead of in the early 2000s with kind of just the vapid pop anthems, So it's really refreshing. And so I think I come from a place where a lot of people have gone through what I've gone through, and those emotions are not easy to talk about. So it's easier to sing about them. So
there you go.
It's been pretty cool. Like, and even in the limited run that I've played these songs at gigs and shows and things like that, people are just like, that really spoke to me. And whether or not, it becomes a radio hit or anything like that, whatever. But I mean, if it helps somebody, then it's great. So
That's probably one of the most meaningful, the coolest things too. Like getting people to come up to you afterwards and say that. I mean, that's worth more than $1 million, right?
No, it's huge. Yeah. And just singing from and being able to sing from the heart instead of singing from the iPad or the lyric sheet. You know what I mean? Like, even if I forget lyrics, which I have a tendency to do, sing from your heart.
Yeah, and then what is it? Storytelling, connecting with people. That's literally what it's all about. I feel like people are craving that now more than ever. With everything that happened, social media, and then during COVID, all the other stuff, right? That all built up to it. There was just more and more disconnect when it came to it. Now people are just like, want to feel connected again. Am I really alone in this? Am I really feeling this? Is there anyone else out there? And, one of the first avenues that we reach to is typically music, right? And so you writing a song and opening up your heart, I mean, that's phenomenal, because you're going to connect with people like that. You're going to show it. And like you said, even if it becomes a radio hit or not, you had that one person at that one show come up to you.
That's it. That's the meaningful part, for sure.
So that's super cool. And I'm excited to hear all the stories about when your boys are here, and all the crazy times. And then, I'm just excited to hear all of that. And, you play a song for them and come back to me and tell me how their eyes lit up at you, man. I'm telling you.
We'll do, for sure.
No other feeling in the world. So where can people find your music? Is it only solo stuff, only your band stuff right now? Can you kind of share some of that with us?
Yeah, so recording-wise, I haven't done any major recording yet. I have a couple things lined up for my solo side. For my band, you can find us on YouTube at Heritage Harmonic. We don't have a ton of stuff up there right now. That's one of my summer projects. But also on Instagram, Facebook, at Heritage Harmonic on both of those. And then for my solo stuff, I just started a TikTok. I know I'm like the oldest person on TikTok now.
Hey, I saw a grandma on there the other day. She was throwing up some cooking and stuff like that.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm sure my students are going to make fun of me and they'll find it and, but then, hey, that's instant followers. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I just started TikTok at Travis Humble Music. I also started an Instagram with that too. That's going to be more of my original music. And, once I get more of that recorded, I'll start doing releases for there and Spotify, and looking forward to it. I'm just off to the races right now, and I'm super excited about it. So.
Yeah, well, you have a good community backing you up. You have it's like this area in particular, so many local artists, so much talent in this area, and just coming out to a couple of the open mics that they have. So many followers right there. You have your nonprofit that you're doing. I'm sure all those writers are going to be jamming out to all of your songs while they're just rolling down the street, right?
Hey, there you go.
So that's awesome,
maybe that's the next one, right? About riding a motorcycle, you know what I mean? And maybe I'll do that.
I was just about to do the Eagles right now.
Oh, right.
Cool wind in my hair.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have too much hair.
Hey, but. Yeah. I'm kind of going for this Jason Momoa thing. So it looks like a mullet, but it's all up in there.
Baldness comes quickly.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So hopefully that's not in your genes.
Oh, man, no.
For me, it came blink of an eye. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you, Travis, so much for coming in and blessing us with your music, telling us a little bit about your story. I hope this, helped you out a little bit, got you a lot of good content, some exposure. Again, any of the links, anything that he said, it's all in the description down below, whether you're listening to this or you're watching this. Just right there, click on it, give him a follow. It doesn't cost you anything but your time. So
absolutely.
Heck yeah.
And I appreciate those who do. We couldn't do what we do as musicians without you doing what you do as as listeners. So thank you.
Yep. Sweet.